and welcome. My name's Kathy A, and today I thought I would do a quick review of some of the new drugstore stuff that came out. If I wait till the end of the month, everybody else is going to talk about it before me, and you know how I like to be first, or at least, you know, close to the front of the pack. Anyway, let's talk about a few things that I picked up recently. Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A, and it's time for January faves and flops. Yay! We had a lot of stuff go on this past month, and I, like you, I watch a lot of YouTubers, and there were so many releases from the drugstore this month. It was almost overwhelming. I did buy a few items, and I think first I'll start with a few of the fails because I am returning them, and I was like really surprised actually. Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A, and wow, January faves and flops is here already, and we're at the end of the month now, and I've had quite a month actually. I thought I would start this out by just saying that my life went through a major change this month, and what it was is I had opened one of my side closet doors, and it had a whole bunch of different stacked things on it, and bins of CDs and DVDs and cassettes from my radio show back in the 90s, and I was trying to reach for a box of photos, and I slipped, and a whole bunch of stuff came pouring down on me, landed all over the floor, went all over the place. And then, you know, I was going through my clothes, and I was having a hard time trying to pick things out for work. I decided to start watching YouTube videos on minimalism and decluttering and organizing your stuff, and something just clicked. And I decided to do that somewhat embarrassing video I released last week of me going through my closet and trying things on and just keeping things that worked on my body type as it is right now. And I didn't notice until after I had done everything and decluttered and sent my stuff away. I was editing the video, and I noticed the mirror that I used to take all those selfies, pictures of me in the clothes, was dirty. It had dust on it, so it looked like my clothes had like pills all over. I was like, oh my God. And I don't have that stuff anymore. I did put a box to ThredUp, which is, they're an online consignment store. There's a new expression that they're using called your season of life. And your season of life is whether or not you are like a retired person living alone or just with somebody else, if you're an empty nester, or are you a young person with a family, or are you a young person with roommates, or are you single in the city? Are you single in the country? Do you go to a lot of social events? Do you go to like church every Sunday where you need to dress up? Do you go to work in an office where you have to have office clothes? Do you work in an area, do you like casual things? Do you like to go to concerts and events? So it's basically, you're supposed to restructure your wardrobe to suit your lifestyle right now in this season of your life. So in this season of my life, post-divorce, I'm not dating yet, but I want to look nice and presentable. I have a job in a very, very conservative office, and I mean, it's like a religious cemetery funeral business. And I have to dress like I'm going to a funeral every day, which is really, really hard because my sense of humor. And I have a lot of beautiful, colorful clothes, but a lot of them I bought on a whim. I was on Amazon, and of course everything's on a size 2 model, so everything looks wonderful, it hangs nicely and everything, and then I get it and it's up here somewhere. I can't get my arm through it because it's poorly sewn. Fast fashion, which is another subject I'll get into at another time, but oh my gosh. I've been watching, and I'll link them below, but I'll link the videos below about fashion and where clothing is made and how it's made. and how 10% of the pollution in the water in the world is from the fashion industry, from making fast fashion. There is an old saying that, you know, there's the 20-80 thing where you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. I don't find that to be true, but now that I've scaled everything down, I'm wearing all of my clothes and I'm enjoying all my clothes. And it's so easy in the morning to pull this and this. I know they go together. I know they fit me. I don't have to think about, well, gee, I'm not sure if that blouse is going to work for me today. I know it will. I am so happy with that declutter. I actually went back after I watched the video, which I thought, by the way, was so embarrassing. I was lumps and bumps. And one of you said, man, you've got a brick house body, you know, like that Commodore song. She's mighty, mighty. Yeah, I went back and I took more stuff out. And I don't miss it. And think about times when you have taken things out of your closets or you've donated stuff when you've moved. Do you even remember what you donated or what you got rid of? I mean, it's so, stuff is just stuff. And I've just been so enjoying watching declutter videos, watching other people clear out. My next video is going to be the kitchen clear out. That's going to be fun because I have a lot of sentimental stuff there, and I have a lot of, but what if I have a dinner party for 8, you know, and you know, those kind of things you ask yourself. You're prepared for no matter what, right? Speaking of clothes, I have this cool thing that I got, and this is lifestyle. This is it's a mat. I know it reminds you a little bit of those space mats we used to get our suntans on in the 70s, right? You put this down on any flat surface, any table, and you can iron your clothes. You can iron out a last minute wrinkle or a hem. If you're sewing something, you can, you know, your seams can be ironed on here. This makes any surface an ironing board. And this is so nice. It protects the surface from the heat, and you have a larger space, and it's so much nicer. I know some of us have used towels in the past, but towels bunch up and they actually don't retain the heat, and the heat can go through and ruin the finish on your table, whatever that is. So, and also too, I was decluttering and I was going through and I found my little friend here, and he had some stains. And I was like thinking, well, how am I going to get stained? I can't wash him because he's got all kinds of parts and bits and pieces that are not washable. This is the dog from pets.com. Do you remember that? They had some really cute ads in the 90s, and they went out of business. They went bankrupt. So I've always loved this dog. I used him in my funeral videos. Anyway, he had some staining from, like, there was spilled coffee over here, and there was something on his arm. And I found this stuff. It's called Grandma's Spot Remover. And you literally, you put a couple of drops on the stain, and you wipe it with like a cloth, a wet cloth, and you can, you know, just kind of put some water on it and let it air dry. And I'm telling you, the stain comes out immediately. I got all the stains off, the coffee stains, everything. This stuff is amazing. It's amazing. So I just thought I would tell you about that. Grandma's Secret Spot Remover. And I'll link below all the stuff that I'm talking about today. I went into Target, and they have reset their dollar spot area, which has everything from $1 to $5 in it. And they have these Lazy Susans, which you can put, you know, anything on. Underneath your counters, in your cabinets. But this, I believe it was $3. Yeah, $3. It's wood. You could actually resurface this, you could paint it, you could decoupage it, but I love the idea that I can put this in, you know, things like pesky things, you know, like the sprinkles and the frosting things, you know, for cakes. I have like little jars of sprinkles and things like that, and it's so nice to just turn this and I can just grab it. Or you can use it for spices or condiments. You can use it in your refrigerator. So I just thought this was a great deal for $3, and that's in the local Target. This one shocked me. This is the clip-on vlogging light, and what it is you can clip it onto any table or surface, and you can plug it in, and it is unbelievable. If you can see it, yeah, there's different levels of light, different colors. This was only $5. I just thought that was an incredible deal, really good deal. This is a little bit odd, but I went to the library for the first time in about 40 years. I mean, the last time I went, there was a Dewey Decimal System where you had to go to a card file and look up the book. Libraries have changed so much. They have, if you haven't been to the library, not only do they have meetings, knitting classes, sewing classes, adult coloring, Habitat for Humanity meetings, different groups and clubs will meet there, but they also have this particular library in a small town. They have 130,000 items, age-appropriate materials for all ages, audio-visual materials that include DVDs, audio books on CD, playaways, MP3s, tablets. They also will rent out laptops and desktop computers, and they have a digital collection of 75,000 titles that you can borrow. They also have Libby, Hoople, and Canopy. You can get, access to consumer reports. You can research Ancestry.com. These are all like free services in the library. You can job hunt. They also have copiers and scanners and faxes in case you want to send, resumes out. And they have all of these things where magazines are on there. You can read magazines at the computer. And it's 24 hours. You can do it from home. You can go into the library and do it. They have free passes. When you have a library card, you get a free pass to some museums, and absolutely amazing. And they also have books, And she said now what you can do is you just put the title of the book into this computer when you walk in, and it tells you where it is, what row, and where it is. Whereas we used to have to look up the Dewey Decimal System card. You should stop into your library if you haven't been there for a while. And I got a library card, and I'm like really excited about my new library card. I'm like a little kid. I'm like, oh wow, I'll have to take a book out or something. I placed a large order with ELF because ELF had come out with, a few weeks ago, they came out with a whole new line of stuff. And one thing that interested me was this, it's a retinoid cream, a serum for the evening. And I've just used it 2 times, and I can tell you that this is amazing. It's like $22, but and it comes out kind of an orange color, but it blends out nicely. And you wash your face at night, you pat it dry, and then you put like half a dime size, a chocolate chip size amount. How's that? A chocolate chip size amount, and you put it all in your face, and then you go to sleep. And I'm telling you, when I woke up after the first time, my skin felt better. It's amazing. This is the Youth Boosting Advanced Night Retinoid Serum with Multi-Antioxidant Complex, 1% Gram-Active Retinoid and 0.06% retinol and antioxidants. It's a potent treatment A powerful retinoid and antioxidant complex renews skin for a rejuvenated, smooth, and radiant complexion. Deep yellow color of the formula is due to the potency of the retinoid complex. It will blend into skin after application. Use SPF during the day because retinoids always make your skin a little more sensitive to sunlight. You could get burned easier. But I'm telling you, this stuff, I'll give you a check-in, you know, after a month of using it, but I think this is amazing. From ELF Cosmetics. God bless them. They're really, you know, leveling up, huh? Wow. I also got another jar of this, and this is the Holy Hydration. This is just a general face cream, and I use this in the morning as my face cream. There's a lot of hoopla going on about this stuff, and this is their version of the Supergoop. Now Supergoop runs, I think, $48 for a container, and this runs around 12 to 14. It goes on like a moisturizer. It feels very moisturizing, a little bit glowy, and it's only 30 SPF, so I'm not thinking that that's a whole lot of sun protection. However, any is better than none. This works really nicely. It plays well with makeup. I didn't have any problems with any of the foundations. I've been working with this for about 2 weeks now, and I haven't had any trouble with foundations pilling or anything like that over it. I think it's nice. I mean, I used to get the little Supergoop samples in with Sephora things. You know, they sometimes, if you order online from Sephora, they send samples and things, and they would often send a little Supergoop, and I'd use it, you know, and I think, but I'm not paying 48 bucks for it, you know. So I don't have one here right now to show you, but I have used it in the past. This feels great, and I think it works nicely, and a lot of people are saying it's just like Supergoop. They've done side by sides, so I'm going to have to believe them that it is close to that. I think it works nicely, and as long as it works underneath my makeup nicely, I'll keep using it. As far as SPF go, now one thing I did do is I switched up my body wash. I decided to go back to, I have this here because it was wet. This is the Vanity Cream Cleansing Bar, and I use this with a face cloth, or a flannel as you call it in the UK. I'm just back to soap and a flannel because I saw, again, when I was researching YouTube, I saw a whole bunch of stuff about the germs and bacteria that are in those puffs. You know, you can't unsee that stuff. So I'm using the Vanity Cream soap. It's only like $4 or so. It's absolutely wonderful, and when you use it with a flannel or face cloth, you're actually exfoliating as well. And it's like, I don't know how we got away from this. I really don't. I mean, my mom always did this with Ivory soap or Dove soap her whole life, and she had beautiful skin. She was always exfoliated. She never had dry, flaky skin ever. She always used a face cloth and like Dove soap, you know. So I don't use this on my face, but I do use it on my body, and I'm really enjoying this with the face cloths. The only thing is you know, you have to throw the face cloth in the wash. You know, that's no big deal. But the puffs are really not very good. Plus they're plastic. There's more plastic going into the water with all the stuff from the clothes. So I think, you know, I think this is a more environmentally proactive thing to do. Go with soap and a face cloth. Stay away from the plastic. Stop producing more plastic. You know, we want to kind of get away from that, I think. And I'm getting soapboxy about it. I'm sorry, but this is Vanity Cream, and Vanity Cream is dermatologist recommended. Just like CeraVe, Vanity Cream, you know, is kind of neck and neck with them on the quality, and they're really good for people with dry skin or sensitive skin. There's no scent to it, you know, so you're not going to have that experience, you know, of scent. But scent isn't always that good for you. And if you watch those YouTube videos about scent, you're going to see Bailey Sarian put a really good one out fairly recently about scented products and how it's very unhealthy. Also from ELF, I got this cleanser, and I like it. I think it's the Pure, yeah, this is the Pure Skin. They have a Pure Skin line, a Holy Hydration line, and then they have something for people with acne. This is from the Pure line. This is the cleanser. Works really, really nicely. I have used it. I loved this one that came out. I don't know if they even still have it, but this was the mint one that came out last year. I bought like 2 bottles of it because I love it so much. It's a foaming cleanser. Works just as well as, you know, any cleanser really. But between these two, and I use one that comes from Aldi, which is La Cura, that cleanser. But those are the only cleansers I use on my face as far as cleansers go. If I get a Trulia cleanser, you know, Sephora packet or something, I will use that. But these work really nicely. So also from the Holy Hydration series, this is the, and I'm almost, yeah, I used it a lot. I don't know if you can see that. This is the makeup remover balm, and this works really nicely. It doesn't sting your eyes, which is good. It does take off the makeup really nicely. You can use this with one of those microfiber cloths or face cloth or tissue, you know, or cotton pad, whatever. I have to do it with waterproof eye makeup and mascara especially. It works really nicely with that. So there is a package that they sell for around $10. These are the ELF putty primers. There's a hydrating one, the regular one, and then there's the matte putty primer. Some people swear by it. They're okay. I mean, I have other things I like to use, but they are very inexpensive and they are a little bit thicker, Vaseline-y kind of feel. Not as greasy, but they go on, fill in a lot of the cracks, the nooks and crannies, almost like a spackling to the wall. And makeup goes on over nicely over these. So if you just want to try them out to see which one works the best for your skin type, this is a great way to do it. I was watching Jen Phelps. I really like her a lot. She's younger than I am. And she has slightly different skin type, but she's really knowledgeable, especially about eyeshadows and blushes on YouTube. And she gives really good information about makeup, and I really enjoy her videos. So Jen Phelps is her name. She's a Connecticut girl like me. She lives in another part of Connecticut though, a little bit far away from me, but I'd love to do like a joint video with her. That'd be kind of fun. But she recommended this Magic Perfecting Base, which is from L'Oreal, and it is it's a kind of a creamy primer, and it works really nicely under makeup, and she swears that it's like the best primer ever, and that it really smooths out pores and really like fine lines and things like that. It really fills them in nicely and plumps up and hydrates your skin better than anything. And this is an old school product. It's been around for a while, at least 10 years, I think, at least. And she's been using it all along and swears by it. So I decided to give it a try. I think I did try this early in like 2013 when I first started my channel, and I had seen it in the store and was trying it. We were just deciding whether primers were good or not back then. It was like, I'm from the old days, you know, when before makeup blew up into infomercials. I was part of the group that we sincerely just wanted to try things and tell you about them. Boy, those days are gone, huh? But I like it. It's really nice. It's a very, very, I don't think there's no scent to it. It's a really nice primer base, and it does hydrate, and it does work very well. As far as being my favorite, I think I still prefer my Embryolisse, which is, you know, what my school recommends, my online makeup academy. But this works nicely too. And price-wise, this is about $8. This is probably about $14. So, you know, if you want to try something like this, I think you should. You know, I think primers are really good for underneath makeup. When you have older skin with lots of texture or lines, it really does help to use a primer underneath your foundation. to smooth things out. Just like before you paint the wall, you want to, you know, cover the cracks in the wall with spackling. So this is kind of nice spackling. Okay, the big debate between ELF and the Hollywood Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury. This is one of those products that everybody's going nuts over, and I don't understand it because it really isn't that big a deal. It isn't. And they say, well, it's just like Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless filter. Well, it isn't. They feel completely different. I have this on this side, this on this side. And even though when they blend out, they both look a little bit glowy on the skin, it's the feeling and the ingredients on the skin that makes the difference here. And they are not really exactly alike. A lot of people like to just kind of parrot what they've heard and say, oh, they're identical and this is a dupe and all that. But I don't really think it's an exact dupe. And I think one of the reasons is that the ingredients in this are better. And this, it's different. And even the people who say it's a dupe say, well, it's a little different, it feels thicker, it feels, you know, and it's like, yeah, it does. It feels a lot thicker. It's different stuff. So they're trying to imitate it. They came close, but it's not the same thing. So if you have this, you'll know what I mean. If you try them side by side, you'll see a difference. And I actually prefer the longevity of this. I prefer how it reacts with makeup over the top of it. So it's not a fail because it's okay, but it's really, to me, just a moisturizing primer underneath the skin. And it does give a little bit of glow. I do see a little bit, but that could be from that supposedly glowy foundation. So ELF Halo Glow, meh. I think they feel completely different. They're both a little bit shiny and they're both similar colors. I use them over the top of my makeup today. I don't know, you know, it's not bad. I think it's a really huge hype. I don't think it's anything special. I don't use this under my makeup instead of a moisturizer or a primer, but it does add a little bit of glow, but I put it over the top of the makeup for the glow. Okay, I have a couple comparisons here for products. One of them is, everybody wants to do the Hollywood Flawless finish from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is one from MILANI. It's called Glow. So this is the Glow, and it's got lots of squalene and all kinds of other things in it, so I'm impressed with that. But it's nothing like the Charlotte Tilbury. So let me just put the Charlotte Tilbury next to it, and you can see they're not alike. Now the one I got, the Glow I got is, it's the fair shade. And then the Charlotte Tilbury is the fair to medium shade. They feel different. The Charlotte Tilbury has more pigmentation. This is kind of oily and greasy. So I don't think it's a dupe at all. So just so you know, in case you are seeing it and you think, oh, I'll get that because it's a Charlotte Tilbury dupe. It's not. So it's not. But it does have good skincare ingredients in it. But I didn't think it played well under makeup at all. So I wouldn't recommend it. I also would not recommend this. Oh my gosh. I'm a huge fan, as you know, of the Bear With Me concealer. I really like it. It may even have won, no, ColourPop won this year, but this was a close contender. I love the Bear With Me from NYX, or NYX as some of you call it. It's NYX, Goddess of the Night, NYX. This is the Bear With Me concealer. I love it. It's really nice, and I thought, oh, it's in the same family. This is the Bear With Me Blur Foundation. It is so patchy and drying and clings to your skin texture. Oh my goodness, how awful was this? It's going back. Whoa. I don't get it. So this is the shade here, and I think I got the medium light. Soft beige, this is called. Soft beige. So this one on the end. Yeah, I didn't like it at all. Not at all. And it wore down right around lunchtime. As you know, I wear my foundations to work to test them out, and it's a great place to do it because I can't touch them up or anything. It's kind of, it is what it is. But at lunchtime, I go into the ladies' room in case I do have to make any major changes, or, you know, if my nose is running or something, you know, or whatever. But it wasn't very good, and it looked like it had worn down on my chin, and I saw the polka dots, and under my eyes looked tired. I mean, it was just, it checked off all of the no boxes. So I would not recommend the NYX, the NYX Blur Foundation. It was absolutely awful for me. This Superstay, this is a concealer from Maybelline. I got it in shade 30H, I think, or 30C, 30H. And it is so dry. I mean, it just polka dots into the lines, grabs onto texture, and winter is bad enough. So this was just absolutely awful. Maybelline Superstay. Now I have almost 65-year-old skin. Next month is 65 for me. It's a little bit dry, but I do moisturize, I do use serums, and in the winter time I think everybody's skin is a little dry because the heat really drags it out of our skin if you're inside with the heat on. So it's a very low humidity situation, and so your skin just is dry. So this was just awful. Maybe it was the worst time of year for me to try this, but absolutely totally a fail. Also a fail. This is the Revlon Illuminance. This foundation is supposed to be glowy. I have it on half of my face here, and I have my regular Ulta Complexion Crush on the other side. And what a difference in the two of them, really. It's not that glowy. I didn't find it to be glowy. It's very drying, actually, and it does grab onto texture. If you're older, it does sink into lines. You do have to, you know, press it in. But I didn't think it was anything special at all, and I've been seeing like such good reviews, and I'm like, what kind of skin do these people have? Because it didn't work on mine at all. And I haven't really had a whole lot of luck with Revlon foundations in the past. So, and I know it's not user error because I have other foundations that look great, you know, so it's not user error. So the Revlon Illuminance foundation, it's too drying, sets into the lines, and it wore down awfully quickly. I would say probably around lunchtime. I mean, my skin was all broken through. There were polka dots on my chin. It was rough looking. I looked tired. I mean, it really was a total fail. Beyond fail. It was a total fail. So I can't ever recommend this. And I like Revlon. I want them to stay in business. I have other products from them that I love, but not this. Hello. In my ELF order, I also got this. This is the HD powder in the soft luminance. Luminance, yeah. And when I looked at it closely, I'm like, oh my god, it's got sparkles in it. But when you put it with a brush on your face, you don't see that. And it does kind of blur nicely. Let me just put it and you get that powdery thing going. You don't see the glitter. So I don't know where that little micro glitter is going because I see it, physically see it when I open up this case. But this is the Luminance, I think it's a finishing powder. I don't think it's a setting powder. But it does give a nice kind of glow and cohesiveness to the look. So I think this is nice. I still use the pink one for my setting powder, and I think it's a really nice powder. So I think ELF does powders really well. I remember they used to have a tiny little container of under eye setting powder that I used to love, but there was like 3 pinches of powder in it, and it was like $1.50 or $2, you know, back when ELF was reasonably priced before they got, you know, into this NARS business. Yeah, it's not bad, this HD powder, but I still prefer the pink one. I think the pink halo powder, I think, is a little better. But it does give me kind of a nice cohesive glow to the look. This is the LA Girl, and this is the lighter shade. This is Rosebud, and this gives you that cold girl look that everybody's talking about now. I don't need to fake it because in Connecticut we actually have a lot of cold weather, so just a tiny little dot will give you that cold girl kind of thing going on. You really do get that. It's a flush that, you know, you've been out in the cold and you come in and you're like, huh, I've just been out snowshoeing in Vermont. I'm not sure why I would want that look, but this does a good job. This is the lighter shade. There's 2 shades. Rosebud's the lighter shade from LA Girl. I think it's great. It lasts okay. I would say after about 5 hours, I didn't see it anymore, so it does fade a little bit, goes into the environment or sinks into my skin, I don't know where, but I like it. I think it's really nice. You do get that flush, it blends nicely, and Rosebud is the color. And also to Rimmel's Maxi Blush. I do like this, and I don't know if it was Rebecca from Frugi blog. Frugalista, she used to be the Frugalista. Or maybe Risa Does Makeup, one of them, you know, talked about. This is the Rimmel, and this is a really pretty powder blush. Again, you know, blushes are just so pretty in the drugstore. You really don't need to go to high end to get a blush. I think that you can get some really good quality, and this is Rimmel, which, you know, good old Rimmel, you know, I don't know what happened. They used to be really quite popular on YouTube. But now I bought this from Amazon, and it was a multi-level. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades of blush. And I was like, oh, you know, and I tried different ones. I am wearing it on this side. Really interesting shades. And then when I got down to the brown shade, I noticed there were finger marks in it. Somebody had opened this up and swatched it at Amazon or at the company that made it. And I was so grossed out because I was like, oh my God, somebody has swatched this. There's like bacteria in here. When did they swatch it? How long was these fingerprints there? Oh, what are the conditions in which this is made? So just beware of your swatching. And, you know, just as an extra note of caution and safety, Sephora has samples out where you can swatch them, put them on your hand or whatever. Never put them on your face or your lips. Gosh, oh my gosh. Make sure you have hand sanitizer on before you put the swatch on, and then wipe that swatch off completely and put hand sanitizer on again. I would say alcohol if you can, if you're swatching in a store. Yikes, yikes. So this is the 5 colors, 5 effects blush. I have it on this side. It actually, I had done this before because I wasn't going to use the brown one. I mean, it wasn't really a color that looked like it would work for me, so I didn't even notice it. And I was using the ones in the top colors, and I like that pink a lot. So I don't know what to tell you here. If this is an Amazon warehouse thing where somebody was just so curious they had to try it, or if it was from the manufacturer, or if it had been returned and they just resold it. I don't know. Whatever it is, be careful with your Amazon purchases if they are not sealed. Just check them before you, and don't be afraid to return them. You just take them right over to UPS, they scan it, you get your money back, okay? Don't be afraid to return things. This is the L'Oreal Infallible, and I think I got the first shade, Fresh Wear Bronzer, and this is Yeah, this is the shade 200 Fair, and it's just enough. It really is just enough to put just a light glow on the skin. You know, it's winter time. I really don't want to look like I have a fake tan, and so but I think it works really nicely. It blends well with others. I don't think there's sort of a very light faint scent, but not anything that you would notice. Really nice, and it's L'Oreal. Not a big fan of that company, but now from Revlon, this is the Colorstay Micro Brow Pencil. I'm not getting good little fine lines from it though. It's you know, retractable, you can pull it up, but it really doesn't, it gives a thicker line than I like. I mean, I get a better line out of other less expensive brow pencils. It does have a really good spoolie. The color's good. The taupe, the blonde, those shades are really good on it. I think it's around $10 or so. I think for less money, like the NYX one is better. So, I mean, it's not a bad product. It's just that I don't think it's worth the extra money when you can find other things that cost a little less. I just don't like to spend too much money on highlighters or on brow pencils because there's so many nice ones that are cheap out there or less expensive, more affordable. ELF had the mint palette, and I thought, oh, that'll be nice. I'll have the green, you know, for St. Patty's Day, and isn't this cute? There's these two lighter shades with the sparkles are like toppers, and they're a little glittery. The deep shade is not as deep as I like, and I was just disappointed in this medium green wasn't all that great. I do have a little of it on my eyes, but I'm just disappointed in the quality of this one compared to the other bite-sized palettes that they have. I don't think this one worked very well. I was just very disappointed in the quality of that. Now, one of you had asked me to do the Moira do a Moira documentary, and I started to look it up. It is actually interesting, Moira Cosmetics, and I did get an eye palette to get the ball rolling to see how I felt about it. And this one is called the Endless Moonlight Palette, and the packaging is really beautiful. I should show you the box because the presentation is just stunning on this. So you have the box, and then when you open it up, there are these wings, and it's like, no, no. And here's your palette. So the palette has this beautiful mirror. I will not show that to you, so you won't recognize. And then this is the colors. I'll just turn it different ways so you can see the colors in here. Now there's lots of kind of blues and neutrals, grays. You got a little bit of warm tones, but this one has a really nice neutral blue kind of thing going on. The quality is nice. Yeah, I think it was a nice little palette. It wasn't bad at all. And Moira is actually a goddess name. It's a Greek goddess name. The Greek goddess Moira of destiny. I think you're controlling your own destiny or something like that. That's the Moira. I have it down somewhere, written down somewhere, but Moira is the goddess name. It's kind of like Nyx. Nyx is the goddess of the night. Moira is the goddess of the destiny, So I think it's kind of an interesting line, and she's had an interesting life, so I may do it and try some more Moira products because they are pretty high quality. From what I could tell, the eyeshadow palette was very nice. This big debate here between MILANI lash extensions and the Telescopic Lift from L'Oreal. I had a really bad happening here for the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift mascara, and I have a picture here of me after a long day. The heat, we had a 55-degree day in Connecticut, and everybody was sweating because we were all dressed in sweaters and coats and everything, and my lashes, they bang up against my upper lid here because I have hooded lids. And I had MILANI on this side, I had the Telescopic on this side. I tried every single day for a week. I did it that way. They both look very similar on, nice big honking lashes. This one left all sorts of smears and dings because it melts in humidity and heat. So the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift mascara is a fail. It's a fail. And this one got clumpy after 3 weeks of use. This one got kind of clumpy, and I think I recall that the Thrive mascara did that as well, but it got very, very clumpy on the eyes, and bunches up. You get the naughty looking spider legs look, and then you just have to use a lash comb with it. I mean, and it works fine. But this mascara, even though I do like the formulation, I still think this one works better than both of them. And this is the big Sky High from Maybelline. I think it works really good. As a drugstore mascara, I would recommend this over these two. And I haven't tried the other MILANI one, which is also the highly rated. I think it's got the gold cap with the black body. I'll try that because I don't know what the difference between that and this is. Maybe the brush is different, but hopefully the formulation's a little different. I still think this is a great mascara, but needs a little kid gloves when you're working with it. I don't have to do anything with this. This always comes out good. This always makes a good lash. It doesn't leave dings or smudges. So the Maybelline Sky High, to me, is superior to these other two. Okay, now I had ordered from Temu, I had ordered a couple individual pencils and said, you know, Amazon has a good deal. For $10 you can get 12 eye pencils in different shades from this company, and I gave them the link and I thought, gee, that is a good deal. I think I'm going to get it. So here's a picture of all of the colors swatched. They work okay. You can't use them on the waterline at all. They're really nice, but what's interesting is you can use them as lip pencils also, or you can use them underneath, you know, the brow. You don't have to use them strictly as eyeshadow liners. These two colors work nicely as lip, and I did use one as a lip pencil today. And I think that some of the colors are really nice. I think the dark green is still my favorite. It's kind of a shimmery dark green, and it just looks so nice and goes on so high-end. This is like a Urban Decay 24/7 dupe. Really, really, really nice. It's still my favorite shade. There wasn't a good brown shade or a good purple shade in here in this grouping, and this apparently is group number 2, so maybe group number 1 has different colors in it. But for $9.99, this is a really good assortment of eye pencils. I think, you know, comparing them with other like high-end brands and stuff, you get that same kind of quality, and you can use these as shadows. They do, you know, smear out into like shadow. You can use them like that. So I'm impressed with these, and I think maybe the other set may have your tans and your purples and other blues, silver blues, grays, things like that might be in the other set. So I'll have to look into that, but this was a really nice deal off of Amazon. Yeah, here's the deep blue one. Let me just show you how pretty that is. Isn't that nice? And you can smear it out. So yeah, pretty good. I was watching Lisa J, and she is a makeup artist. She's formerly a trainer at MAC, She is also the founder of BK Beauty, so they have those really nice brushes, and she did that collaboration with Angie Hunt Flash. She made those brush sets and everything. I was watching her the other day, and she was putting on new makeup, but this isn't new. It was new to her. And I hadn't tried these myself, so she tried this shade called Caramel, and it is a cream single from Revlon. And I thought, well, you know, I really want to help Revlon out because they have products and things. I don't want them to go out of business. So, you know, anyway, I went and looked. Now this shade, Caramel, is hard to find, but they have probably about 8 shades, and they're all coffee related. They have espresso, they have chocolate, they have latte, caramel, praline. They have a few other shades, but this one that is caramel, or caramel, it's kind of like shiny, shimmery. And she put it on her eye, and of course she's got a front light that's like a flashlight in her eye, right? Not that I should talk. I know my best of the years were awful because I had a black background and I was very washed out. It's the only time I didn't have any kind of wrinkles or anything. Actually, I was completely undefined. I was totally, and I'm so sorry. I won't do that again. Anyway, she had this strong front light, so I should have known better because she's like, oh, look at this. This shade is wonderful. And I was like, oh, I gotta get that, you know, because it looks so pretty on her, but everything looks pretty on her. I mean, she could just stick her hand in a pile of mud and stick it on there, and I'll go, oh, where can I get that? Anyway, this is Caramel, and when you put your finger in it, it's very hard in the pan, but it's this silky looking stuff. So I, like, you know, I put it on my eye, and it did nothing. I put it on my other eye, and it did nothing. And then I see they have this little built-in brush, which is kind of cute. You pull it out, and there's this little built-in brush, which is kind of, I did try that. It didn't work any better than my finger. It's very ingenious, them doing that, except I'm really big into cleaning things, so I wouldn't want to stick it back in there after I had placed it on my eyelid. Anyway, yeah. I didn't like it at all. Not at all. And it looks darker on me. It just didn't look right. And when you get close up, you can see all the little granules of shimmer stuff. And I thought, I would never like this. I would, you know, and I'm really surprised because it looked so beautiful on her. It looked light, shimmery. She did like a one and done eye look with it. And I thought, I can't do that with this. So, and I don't know. On the Sephora website, they have a limited edition of this series, and it's called the Color Shifter series. They have a mauve one, this green one. They had a tan one that was limited edition, which is the one I really wanted. But anyway, I saw this and I thought, you know, and I did swatch it in store. But this is kind of an interesting thing. You've got a mirror here, and they've got it indented so you can pull the mirror out. I guess to carry it with you, if you're not using the eyeshadow palette. Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, really nice shades, some of them. This is the Shifter shade, and it's very, very pretty. It's, if you put it over the top of the other shades, obviously it's going to make them a little shimmery and a little bit different. But there's a deep, deep goldish color, tarnished gold color, and then there's kind of this dark tan color. We have a lighter pinkish neutral color, a brown. It actually makes a really pretty eye. I don't know if I still have it on or not. Let me see if I can put some of it on. Yes, I'm using my fingers. Fingers are the best blending tools. Although last time I did this with the blue, and my eye makeup looked terrible through the rest of the video. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't think I was such an amateur. Oh, okay. And I'm going to put this pink here on the corners. I wore this to work, and I'm telling you, it lasted the whole work day. I was really impressed with the quality of this, and this is a Sephora collection product, which, as you know, goes on sale all the time. But this is the Khaki Illusion. Khaki Illusion. I guess that's supposed to be a khaki shade, that deep one. I like it. I really like this. This is a $10 palette. The shadows all were very good pigmentation. They lasted all day. So these are, they're $10. The one that's limited edition has got more neutrals. It's got the light matte, it's got a medium transition, it's got a deep corner, it's got the shimmery, and it's got one kind of orangey pinky one. So I just loved it. I really did. I thought it was a really nice little assortment. Okay, controversy. This is e.l.f.'s O-Face series. God, you know, NARS did this. You know, he did it with his orgasm stuff and deep throat and, you know, things like that. I thought, God, you know, I love the products, but dang those names. And here's e.l.f. coming along. Now, they're satin lipsticks. I mean, I remember when e.l.f. first launched, way back, Eyes, Lips, Face. They launched back in 2012-ish, 2013, when I was first starting my YouTube channel. Lipsticks were $1 and their brushes were $1. And then everything kind of gradually went up a little bit. And they came out with satin lipsticks, which were really nice. They didn't last a long time, but they were kind of nice. And they were like $2 at first. They went up to $3. This is $9. $9. Okay, this is called No Doubt. And this is the O-Face series that they just came out with. And I actually had high hopes for the formulation. As much as the name offends me, the O-Face. You remember that movie, right? Anyway. Okay, packaging really, really nice. It's magnetized. Really, really nice. Good feel to it. Now, it's also got the shape just like the NARS lipstick. And this one is called No Doubt. It's kind of a tan look on the lips though. It's a very natural tan look. I actually didn't like the tan part of it. But what was worse is when it wore down, it was so patchy and you could see the lines in my lips. And it wore down fairly quickly. I would say after about 3 hours with no eating or drinking kind of a thing. It wore down about 3 hours. It wasn't a very good formula. But when I initially put it on, it felt really good. It had kind of a moussey feel to it. It wasn't sticky. And the color was, you know, meh. I put a gloss over the top, so I made it look better. But the gloss wore off quickly, and then this just wore off really fast. So I can't recommend it because I was hoping that it would be a better formula, a more longer lasting formula. And also the way it wore down was so bad, and I had so many other lipsticks, even like drugstore lipsticks, that work better than this. So packaging nice, A+, color assortment kind of yuck. I didn't like the color assortment at all. There's another one that's got more of a corally tone to it that's in the same shade range. I can't recommend this either. It's kind of a fail too. A few problems. I hadn't tried the CoverGirl Outlast in a long time, and since I decluttered my magenta lipstick from Sephora because it was older, I decided to try to find the color, and this is Mauve Muse. It's so drying. Oh my god. I used to love this, and I used to get like the plain nudie looking colors in this, but this nude shade, oh my gosh. It dried down, I remembered then, and then, you know, you do get the gloss to put over the top that softens it up. But still, your lips get so dry. By the end of the day, I had all like cracked lips. I kept biting my lip. So this was kind of a fail. That's too bad. Okay, a fail from Revlon, and I'm really disappointed in this one because Revlon is usually so good with lipsticks. This is one of their new lipsticks. The shade is Gut Instinct is the name of the shade. Let me just show you here. Very, very dry. Very, very dry. And I'll put it on just so you can see it. I was like, really? Really? It wore off by lunchtime, and it wore off so unevenly. Of course, I did drink coffee, you know, and a certain amount of blame can go there. It's just so dry. Just was such a disappointment. I'm not sure I gave this any credit at all. This is the Smooth Whip lipstick from NYX, and I really like this. I wish they had more colors because most of the colors in this are in a medium to deep range, and this one is called Bang Bang, and it is a so much nicer than that other next one. Jeez. Yeah, it's very moussey feeling, very pretty. The colors are they're matte and a little bit wild. So I believe this is geared towards maybe a younger audience if you're going out to the disco or whatever they're calling it now. Do they go out anymore? I don't know. They go good with your pajama bottoms. Yeah, it's good. It's just I wish they had slightly different colors. In the daylight, this is quite bright. And I really look like, you know, the old lady at the carnival. But I think the formulation on this is wonderful, and it's the Smooth Whip. I just saw a full display of all the colors at Ulta. I would probably maybe try the magenta version because it's the color of the year. I think I would go more towards another one. I think this is the lightest shade, Bang Bang. Now I got a couple of ELF Face lipsticks, and you know my Face ELF, that's my Face, okay? I had two of the colors. I did do a demo in one of my earlier videos with one of them. This one is Dirty Talk. Their colors are all medium to deep, bland shades, and I didn't really like this. When this wore down, it was so patchy, but the packaging is nice. I mean, the packaging is just really leveled up, high-end, magnetized. It flips itself around. It's $9. Now the other ELF lipsticks run $3 to $4 for satin lipsticks. The formulation seems slightly different than the original satin formula. And I like their original formulas, but they didn't last very long. These don't really last that much longer, and they're a slightly more matte formula, and they wear down very patchy. So I didn't really think they were worth, you know, all the hype they're getting. A lot of people are, you know, and there are a lot of colors. There's 24 colors, but I think they're more, they're deeper colors, and I don't like a lot of deep colors. I think it can make a person look very hard. When you're older, especially if you're wearing a really dark color, it can make you look very hard. I did, however, like the lip stains. Now they're minor. This one is this one purple. I used it with a pink, with their pink plumping lip gloss over the top of it, and that's what I had on before. But I mean, when you use it with the pink, you can see it makes a pretty color, makes a really pretty color. And I think mixing lip colors is, it might be a thing this year, I don't know, but I like it. This is plumping gloss is called Sparkling Rosé, and I think the combination of these two together is very nice. Now I also did get this lip stain. This is more of a brownie shade. I don't think I like that as much. It's more of a brownie shade. It's called Basic Beige, and it just did nothing for me at all. I mean, I'm sure if I mix something with it, it'll be okay, but the lip stains, they're not real strong lip stains. It did last quite a while though, so they're sheer. They're very sheer, but they are stained, so you have to be careful with the deeper ones especially. So the O-Face lipsticks to me weren't really worth it, even though the packaging was nice and there was a color assortment. I think if they had a broader range of lighter shades, I might have liked the O-Face, but I didn't think the formulation lasted as long, and I didn't think it was worth that much more money than their, you know, $3 range. So those were kind of a fail for me. Now these were something I think is worth mentioning to you. Isha from Sugar Puff and Fluff. I met her a few years ago when she came to America on a business trip with her husband, and I met her in New York, and I met Angie at the same time, Angie Hot and Flashy. And it was really nice. It was like a meet and greet. There were some people there that were viewers, and you know, it was really a nice time. Anyway, she's a very nice person, and I've always watched her, and I've watched, you know, how she's progressed. And then she was talking about this perfume she loved, and it was the YSL Libre Intense. Well, I got the YSL OD Cologne, which is not the Intense. And I really liked it, and I mentioned last time I was going to get the big bottle of this because I really liked it. Well, I thought, well, gee, I wonder what the big difference is with the Intense, and I smelled it. It was really nice. It is slightly different. It is more intense. But I got this fake one, and I'm so pleased with this. Look at this packaging. You twist it up, and it's just an amazingly beautiful scent. It's high-end packaging. And it smells exactly the same as the Libre Intense, exactly the same. I'm going to link it below. They have like their impression of this Libre Intense. They also have their impression of Shalimar, of, you know, some of my other favorite perfumes too. I would get more of these. I think they're really nice. And I love the atomizer that it comes with, and they're only around $14. So that's a huge difference between $90 and $100 and $14 for the same thing. Now I wore it at work, which my boss wasn't in today, so I got to wear it at work, and it lasted the whole day at work. And when I came home, it was just a subtle scent, just subtle, and it just as beautiful and as wonderful as the real thing. So the Libre Intense and the Libre Eau de Cologne, or Eau de Parfum, and the Intense from YSL, excellent perfumes. But the fact that it was a fake really made it special. And when they sent it to me, I got a free gift. I guess this is like the heroin addict dealer that gives you an extra thing so that you're hooked. So my heroin addict thing is Baccarat. And it smells just like Baccarat. I don't know if you've smelled Baccarat. And this is a rollerball. Yeah, this is a scent you will recognize. Even if you don't know what Baccarat smells like, as soon as you smell it, you'll say, I've smelled that before. And whenever I've gone into like a really fancy store, this is kind of the smell. It's just a beautiful, beautiful smell. And they gave it to me as a free gift for purchasing this one. So I totally recommend it. I'm going to link it below. I really like it, and that's been really enhancing my life among other things. So I'm going to be decluttering the kitchen, and I'll be going into a little bit more details about that. And I hope that that's not too awful for you, but I really believe in lifestyle as part of my video series here. I think makeup has kind of met its maker. It's met its Waterloo. And I love makeup, you know, I always will buy it, I always will show it to you, I'll do demonstrations on how I put it on or whatever, but I believe that there's more to life, and I think we're all kind of looking at other stuff in life because there's more to life. And the whole decluttering thing, it's like we're becoming less materialistic now. We're starting to downsize a little bit, and maybe it's an age thing, and I'm turning 65 in February, and I'm like, I'm just, you know, I'm decluttering, and I feel so much lighter and so much better and so much freer, and it's just something, and it clicks, and you know, when it clicks, it's just fun to do. Anyway, have a wonderful week. I'll be back with you in the next video. Have a beautiful day. Take care, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me with the YouTube stats or whatever they are. It doesn't affect you at all. You may have in your feed of, you know, uploads or whatever, you may see when I upload, but I don't upload all that often, so you're not going to get spammed or anything from me. And we have quite a nice virtual family here, and I feel very close to you. And I feel, especially when I'm reading your comments, I really feel like I know you, you know? It's I don't know. And I'm not just blowing smoke, really. You know me. I don't blow smoke. Okay, take care, everybody. Toodles.